Welcome to the Mellow Fella Crypto channel. I'm the Mellow Fella, back to share my adventures in crypto with you. Be aware this is not financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. Also, it's cold in these crypto streets, so always do your own research. Invest no more than what you are willing to lose. Protect your things and make sure you are taking some profits along the way. It's been a minute since I've done a pre-recorded video. Life has just been busy for me professionally, personally, just got a lot going on, and I just haven't really been motivated. But given recent events, I wanted to put this video out to share, my thoughts, concerns, opinions, and also gather some thoughts and opinions from those of you that are in the Vulcan community, even those of you that are outside, on the goings on currently with the current state and development of the Vulcan blockchain. Over the last week, there's been a roller coaster ride of events that have occurred. We were expecting to have some really positive news about the state of development of the blockchain. That was short circuited by the announcement of Brian Legend uh, resigning from Uxie Labs, thus resigning from Vulcan as a result of that. And then came questions about, liquidity and money and, all these things, right? And just today, Brian Legend did an AMA of his own addressing some of those things. And that's really what I want to talk about for a little bit, as well as some questions that I have. And I like to get some thoughts and opinions from you all. So I am not a crypto expert. We're going to start right there. When I started my channel, it was due to a bad experience that I had on another project, and the things that I was doing to kind of cope and get over that experience, and learning as part of that process. And I'm hoping that um, the experience with Vulcan isn't going to add a chapter to that book, but that may be the case. And I'm not giving up just yet, but there are some signs and signals that really don't have me in a really good frame as it relates to Vulcan. And I want to kind of go over that. So some of you may look at this and say, oh, Mellowfellow is fudding. No, that's not my intent here. I'm coming up with facts that's been presented. As you can see in this screen right here, this is a screen capture that came from Brian Legend's AMA today, that the balance of the sacrifice funds equate to about $1.2 million. That's what remains, right? So, the accounting here suggests that, is very simplistic. If you take this for what it is, very simplistic. 8.16 million total sacrifice credit. There's a debit of 6.5 million for development cost and operations, and there was a point 0.9 million in marketing expenditures and miscellaneous. So that leaves 1.2 million. Okay. That's not a lot for liquidity. It's just not. It's not a lot for liquidity. We have GVOL as well, that, as I understand, when Vulcan goes into mainnet, there's going to be a GVOL allocation that will be presented. Now, the cost of the GVOL, or the price that's going to be determined, unless something changes. The plan, as I understand it, is that that will be determined after mainnet. But let's say that um, you know mainnet comes to pass, right, and GVOL is allocated. That allocation, as I understand it today, would be available to sell immediately, and that could have an impact on this level of liquidity that exists today. Because I have, I'm going to sell some of my GVOL. I may sell all of my GVOL, depends on what the situation is. And I understand that there could also be some sales volume from, you know, in potential investors into the blockchain and all of that. But just given the status and things that are going on, my level of confidence that we're going to have a significant amount of investors, um, it's just not there right now. It's just not there. So, again, this isn't to FUD or anything like that. So I'm coming up with a list of questions for solutions because I think there is an opportunity to kind of turn things around, but that's going to be dependent upon how serious the remaining team is about re-steering the ship. And I would like to get you all's thoughts on this because these are questions that I have that I am serious about. These aren't gotcha questions. These aren't things where I'm looking to prove anyone right or wrong. These are questions and concerns that I have with the intent of moving forward and in a way that would make the blockchain uh, more credible and sustainable. So let me get into it. So I think these 6 questions in total. My first question is, will the remaining founders consider getting some form of D&O and E&O insurance for the blockchain? And what I think that will do is increase trust within the community and show a commitment to its future success. So that will be attractive, in my opinion, to new investors because people know in the space what's going on with this blockchain right now. And it's not a good look. So, plan B, Adrian, you all, if you're seeing this, you're hearing it, I would ask that you would consider looking into errors and omissions insurance and directors and officers insurance for the blockchain. Now, what does that do? Well, if there's any future mismanagement of funds, um, there would be something to kind of help secure the financial position of the blockchain and keep it viable. Now, that could come at a cost. Well, that will come at a cost. It's not could, it would. It will come at a cost. And that would eat into what that 1.2 million balance that remains. It will eat into that. So I don't know what that impact is going to be. But, I would ask that you all consider looking into that. Also, will Brian Legend be revoked of access to GVOL due to his alleged mismanagement of funds? So I like to be careful in making claims of who did what and when. So I'm going to use the term alleged, right? So it's alleged that funds were mismanaged. It's clear that, Brian has, he's invested into Vulcan and he may be a top holder of Vulcan. And when I say top holder, I would say my definition of top holder is in the top 25. So he may be part of that top 25 wallets. Being a part of that top 25 wallets could have a significant impact on the low liquidity that currently exists, even if we have the vesting schedule that's in place and some purchases from new investors into the blockchain. My opinion. Okay, so I'll put that out there. My third question here is, what efforts are being made to build and maintain credibility with potential project owners, developers, and new investors? Communication, in my opinion, has been lacking, and there may be a reason for that. I don't know what that reason is, but this to me, this is a fire that someone needs to put out, and until it's put out, it's only going to grow. So each day that passes creates more opportunity for speculation. That is not good for a fractured community. So, I would implore on Jason and team again to consider, what are the efforts that they're looking to put in place to build and maintain credibility. Kind of leading into that, as my fourth question, will the founders commit to a regular communication cadence, preferably a weekly live stream of some sort, even if you don't have anything to update? At least show some effort by way um, of a live stream, because this community seems to really respond positively to live streams. So, you know, get on a live stream, let us know what's going on, even if there's not much to talk about. Even if it's 5 minutes, get on a live stream. Make yourself visible and available. I think that would kind of help bridge some of the concerns that the community has. Also, I would ask, you know, will the founders consider having a monthly live session, some sort of open forum type format where, you're on screen with someone or group of trusted advisors within the community. Now, I have some names in mind. Not going to mention that here because, again, I think the community right now is fractured and I don't want to add to that. But I do think that, it would be helpful to have some insights from respected community members and the leadership team, not to have an argument, not to have a debate, but to discuss issues in a positive path of moving forward. And that even includes some of the folks that are in the Brood Fi community. Like them or love them, there are some people there, I would say the majority of the folks that I've come across in that group since I've really been reading and paying attention to what's going on over there, very knowledgeable people. And, there are some voices there that we need to be listening to as a community, especially those of us who aren't as well versed in blockchain, who aren't as well versed in um, cryptocurrency. So I'll just leave that there. The next two, I'm going to kind of get through this quickly. The next one, this is number 5. There's some confusion about light and full node holders, in my opinion. I hold both of them, and it's regarding the rewards, right? And our low liquidity, the volume situation may not be what we think it is. So the earnings, I'm thinking, aren't just aren't going to be there. I'm not seeing it. So that's where I am concerned about mostly, how do we move, or how do you all as founders move to a more positive, uh, um, sentiment for this community? Because, I'm here to make money, right? I've made some relationships along the way, and that's great. And that I appreciate, but that wasn't why I got into this. I got into this to make some money, right? And I'm sure the most of you that are listening to this, if you are or watching this, you kind of feel the same way, right? So I'm looking at, trying to be solution oriented here. So, it would be helpful, in my opinion, if a discussion could be had about the node situation, right? Because there's going to be some maintenance cost for the full node holders for sure. I don't think we're going to have that for light nodes, but we definitely will for full nodes. And it's kind of sounding like, as where we sit right now, the situation may be kind of similar to what some of the light node holders felt, us full node holders, um, kind of feeling like some of the light node holders felt initially when they felt that, okay, there may not be enough revenue to run a light node. Well, it sounds like there may not even be enough revenue to run a full node. So, and just given the tech, the potential tech requirements based on how things are structured. So it would be great to have some conversation. And I don't know if that's a Nick Caliani conversation, but it would be great to have some conversations about that, to just kind of put people at ease that are node holders. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about censorship. And I get it. No one wants to FUD their bag. I don't want to FUD my bag, but we got to call it for what it is. Things are not in a good place right now. and we need to have some open adult conversations about what those issues are and work towards resolution of those issues. And I think it can be done, but time is not on our side, in my opinion. So, again, I appreciate it, for your thoughts, opinions, both from the remaining founders, members of the community, those of you who are outside looking at this stuff and trying to figure out what in the world is going on. I am really interested in seeing this be successful, not just because um, I'm an investor. I mean, that's my primary goal because I am an investor, but I've gotten to know some people in this project and seeing how they've been impacted, myself could potentially be impacted. I've got family members in this thing, I've got friends in this thing that I've brought into this who have never invested in crypto before. And I really would like to see a positive outcome. So I'm not interested in the division and divisiveness. I'm not interested in, hey, let's go join XY's project versus AB's project. Not trying to hear all that. I'm looking at what is necessary to move Vulcan forward. So I appreciate your comments. Thank you for watching and look forward to a better situation for the Vulcan community. Mellifella is out.